Hey, what's up, guys? This is NorbCam coming at you here on this Wednesday afternoon. Obviously, I thought I'd address a lot of questions coming from people about this Jalen Ramsey situation. What's up, Riley Gear? Uh, should we go after him? Should the Seahawks trade for him? What should they give up? And I think everybody in the league is excited about the possibility of getting Jalen Ramsey, two-time Pro Bowler from Jacksonville, who's unhappy with the situation there, possibly one of the best corners in the game right now, and wants to play elsewhere apparently. And a lot of teams in the mix here. And what's up, Michael, Juan? Nothing much. And uh, that's the big question: is what teams are in the position to do it? What teams should get him if they could, and what is he worth getting? I think the word on the street now is that in order to get Jalen Ramsey, we're talking about you've got to give up at least a first round draft pick and probably a third, maybe a fifth, depending on the team. And if you want to sign him long term, we're talking about a guy who's probably going to command around $20 million a year, something like that. He wants to be the top paid corner in the league. And a lot of the reason why there's talk that the Seahawks wouldn't do that is because they've got Jadeveon Clowney, who's basically they kind of did the same thing with him. Play out this season in exchange for draft picks, and then see if they can lock up for a long-term deal. And he's going to cost probably about $20 million as well. So can Seattle really afford to have two $20 million guys on the defense after just paying Wagner and then, of course, paying Russell Wilson? I don't see how that's possible. That's the reason why they had to get rid of Frank Clark in order to pay Bobby and to pay Russell. So I don't think financially they got that kind of money if they want to do long-term deal. It's almost like they're going to have to choose between, would you rather have Jadeveon Clowney or have uh, Jalen Ramsey? I think if they really felt corner was the way that was more important, then maybe they would do that. And that would probably mean that would be the end of Clowney's time at the end of this season. So, in my opinion, we're actually, while it'd be great to have a Pro Bowler, shut down corner like him on the squad, I actually think our corners are pretty good. Our safety situation's a little bit more, kind of questionable in flux a little bit. Still trying to determine, who's exactly our strong safety or our free safety. Bradley McDougald was free or was strong, and then he played free safety, and then Tedrick Thompson, who blew some bad coverage against the Bengals, he was out with an injury, and Lano Hill was in his place. So there's still a lot of things to be determined in there. But I thought the cornerbacks did a pretty good job against Pittsburgh. As far as our nickel corner was pretty good, and Shaquille Griffin played well actually both games, and then Trey Flowers didn't do so well in the first game, but this past game I thought the actually pass defense was pretty good. So well, it'd be nice to just say, hey, would you want to have Jalen Ramsey on your team? The answer is sure, it'd be great. But, at what cost? And what are you going to give up to do it? And can you even afford to? That's the big question. At this point, I don't think there's any signs that Seattle's making any moves. The latest news I saw is that Kansas City's now in talks of getting him. And they've got a need at cornerback as well. But, how well, I guess one thing about the Seahawks is that even like in the Clowney situation, they made it very kind of clear in the beginning that, or at least publicly, that, oh, no, we're good with our front. It made it seem like they weren't going to make a move. And then all of a sudden, bam, there he is, signed, breaking news, he's on the team. So it wouldn't surprise me for them to suddenly break out into suddenly a news headline saying Seahawks workout trade to get Jalen Ramsey. It wouldn't surprise me. It just seems like right now it's less likely, makes less sense than the Clowney move did at the time. So I'm going to say at this point, at least, that Seattle's not going to do anything in that regard. But we'll see. It definitely makes things interesting. And then he plays Thursday night coming up, and all signs say he's gonna play. They're not gonna sit him or bench him, and you better just hope he doesn't get injured. The team and him better hope he doesn't get hurt in that game, or they'll mess the entire thing up. So we'll see what happens and see how he plays come tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football. The second part of my headline here that you might have seen was other New England Patriots already looking like the Super Bowl champions of 2019. And you might be going, what the heck's Norb talking about? I guess I'll say it this way, is that, the Patriots are off to one of the best starts they've ever had, right? And I know it's early. It's only 2 games, and heck, there's a ton of teams, including our own, that's 2-0 right now. But they've outscored their opponents 76-3. Now, granted, one of those teams was the Miami Dolphins, and they don't even count right now because they're so terrible. But, having acquired Antonio Brown on top of a talent that they didn't even need him, I just started looking at the standings or the rankings of the top teams just in the AFC and then just around the league. Who can actually stand up to the New England Patriots? Who actually looks like they could actually give them a fight? If the Super Bowl happened right now, today, who could beat the Patriots right now? I'm curious to see what you guys think. What team could actually beat the Patriots? I'll say straight up right now, Seattle probably cannot beat the Patriots right now. But this is not the team that I see being Super Bowl ready till we got weeks to go. But right now, we're not there yet. We got problems with pass protection. We still got guys who haven't come back yet who are going to help out with the rush starting next week. We're going to have Ziggy Ansah back against the Saints, and then eventually after the suspension, we're going to have our D tackle coming in here, adding to the rush. So to me, I see this as the typical type of Seattle team that starts slow and, gets things going down the line. But looking at it right now, it's like I'm looking at the power rankings, right? So, of course, you have the Patriots at the top at number 1. Secondly, behind there is the Chiefs, number 2. The Rams, number 3. Cowboys, number 4. Ravens, number 5. Seahawks at 6. This is on NFL.com. Packers at 7. Eagles, 8. The Bears at 9. And the Vikings at 10. The fact that you're even mentioning the Vikings now, that's the time to stop, because I don't think they're that good. Bears, not enough offense. So we're going back up to the top 8 teams. Let's just look at that real quick. So of all these teams who are going to potentially try to knock off the Patriots either in the AFC or potentially in the Super Bowl, who's got the best chance? And I guess number 2 you got to look at, it would be the Chiefs, as the Chiefs were the one team who had the chance to knock out the Patriots to get into the Super Bowl last year, and they're still pretty good today, led of course by their dynamic, pretty awesome quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. And as I said earlier, desperately could use some help in the cornerback situation. And it makes sense why they could be in the conversation for trying to win now and bet the farm, bet the ranch to get a guy like Jalen Ramsey to help them in that potential race to lead, take over the AFC. Because I really don't see any of the team challenging in the AFC. Sorry, I'll due respect to, the Baltimore Ravens and who else? I mean, geez, there's not even really, the Ravens are the only other team in the top 10 in the AFC. You got the Patriots, Chiefs, and then the Ravens at number 5. Who else is there? There really isn't any other team to challenge. I thought maybe Pittsburgh before the season started. That's all gone with what happened to Roethlisberger and seeing the way they're playing. I thought maybe San Diego could come out of their forever slump and Philip Rivers could have a chance because they looked pretty good the last couple of years, but them losing to the Lions was kind of embarrassing. So that, to me, told me the Chargers. Did I say San Diego? I meant I'll never stop calling the Chargers San Diego. I'm sorry, that's just too embedded in my brain, having been in the AFC West a long time ago, all those years. But I don't see any other team in the AFC challenging. The Ravens, maybe, but the Chiefs seems to be the only team that has a chance of knocking off the Patriots in the AFC. So I don't know. At this point, I think it's a done deal that you might as well just crown the New England Patriots the AFC champs, and that they will be the AFC reps in the Super Bowl. Now, unless you guys disagree, I just can't see it. So now the question is, if that is the case, who which of the teams right now in the NFC has a chance of actually facing the Patriots in the Super Bowl and beating them? Well, we could say, let's look down the list at number 3 with the Rams. Well, let's see, how did they do last year? Yeah, no, they sucked. And I think if you rematched the Patriots and the Rams again, it may not be the same exact type of game, but that's going to be in their head. That would just be another ugly game. Probably not as low scoring as it was, but yeah, I can't see them knocking them off. The Cowboys, could it be the Cowboys? Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott and those guys having a pretty good start. I don't know. They were one of the better teams that ran into the Rams and got shut down in the playoffs last year. Could they make that next step? Well, I guess it's possible that they're in the mix there. Then you got, I'll skip the Seahawks, save that for last. Then there's the Packers. Yeah, Packers, I don't know. You got Aaron Rodgers. We've had the Aaron Rodgers show for a long time now. How long since has been his last Super Bowl? 2000, was it 2008 or no, 2007? I can't remember what year. It was a long time ago, 10 years ago since Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl. The Eagles. Well, we know the Eagles did have, they did beat the Patriots back, what was that, Super Bowl 50, was it 52? I think it was 52. And that was a different team, though. And then they just lost to the Falcons. Should have beaten the Falcons and messed up my picks by losing, because I had the Eagles winning that game by a narrow margin. Probably would have been perfect, my score. But yeah, so that was a little disappointing. So, already seeing cracks in the armor early on. I said, and then we got the Bears and the Vikings and then the rest of them. So, so then it just comes back down to, well, I have been longing for a long time to have the Seahawks rematch with the New England Patriots, and not just a rematch with the team, but this version of the New England Patriots, the dynasty version that got started in 2001, the Brady Belichick version of the Patriots. That's coming to a close, right? We know that there's a sunset. The sun is setting. Not to say that they're not going to win. Obviously, they're doing just fine. But that time is on a very short, the expiration date is coming up with that duo. And I have wanted my shot with those guys. And this year is a lot like 2013. I've been saying it since last year, that 2012 was a lot like last year, where we exceeded expectations, made it to the playoffs, but fell short. This year is a lot like 2013 so far early on, that we're 2-0, which is the first time we've done that, been 2-0. And to start a season, we haven't been 2-0, which is hard to believe. In all these years we've been making the playoffs, this is only the second time we've been 2-0 since 2013. So the last time we were 2-0 starting, we went to the Super Bowl and won it. So you got that little thing, which doesn't mean much when you're only 2 games in the season. But history is history. So, and I really do believe that right now we're playing okay. We've managed to go 2-0 with an okay team. We've had a little bit of luck and a little bit of bad luck, which has made it feel like this, we're definitely not playing as good as we ought to, but we still have 2 wins, and we could have easily have lost either of them. But, we got a little bit lucky and escaped against the Bengals, but we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and really shot ourselves in the foot and made it closer than it had to be. So we're moving ahead now, and we've got problems in terms of pass protection. We've got issues with holding penalties, which is all related to struggles on the offensive line. Primarily, that is, I'd say, the number one blemish, the number one issue that the Seahawks have right now that is stopping them from me feeling like they are at that next level where they could compete and beat those really high-level teams like the Patriots. But like I said, we're getting reinforcements from the defensive line here. But really, it's the question of, will the Seahawks offensive line problems get fixed? I mean, that's, to me, going to decide whether this team makes that leap to possibly get home field advantage this year, and then maybe make a run and get back to the Super Bowl again. That's really the big question. Effetti is the name. It's like a four-letter word around here right now. And he's the one who's at the center of that right now because he's the most penalized player, I believe, right now, given all the holding calls and false starts and all that. So disappointing because he seemed to take such a big step forward last year after being the most penalized player 2 years ago. And now he's back on track to his old ways of 2 seasons ago where he really struggled. But, it's that which is not why it's no surprise that the Seahawks did not sign his, extend his after the end of his the 5th-year option on his rookie contract. But what can we do? I don't think there's a lot of options right now that we can do. So, I guess if we just have to hope things get better, and we'll see. But I think we know what that issue is, and sometimes what you got to do is play the Tom Brady game, which is, if you really don't want the quarterback to get hit, well, just get rid of the ball quicker. And Seahawks did a really good job of doing that in the second half against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So sometimes if you can't beat them, scheme them. Just don't do something you don't do well, and just don't expose yourself like that. Although some of those sacks came in there like before Russell even had a chance to plant his foot, he was already under pressure. So anyway, hate to be so doom and gloom, but the nice thing is we're not playing the Super Bowl this weekend. We're not even playing it in a month from now. We've got like 4 months before that's all going to get figured out, and a lot of this stuff is going to change. A lot of these teams that are at the top are going to drop, and a lot of teams who are in the middle of the pack are going to move up. But I don't see the Patriots, barring a major meltdown or catastrophic injury on their team, I don't see the Patriots dropping any games anytime soon. I wouldn't surprise me if the Patriots go 13 or 14 wins this season and definitely lock up the AFC #1 seed and most likely represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, unless somehow the Kansas City Chiefs can take them down. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. Just kind of a boring, lame scenario, if you ask me, in the AFC. To know that of all these 16 teams in there, it pretty much comes down to a 2-team race this early in the season. I'd love to be proven wrong, but that's my thought on what we're going to be looking at. It's a three-month run to see 2 teams battle it out, unless somebody can rise up and surprise us all. Maybe it'll be the Jets. Just kidding. No, ain't going to happen. Poor Jets. My buddy Gangrene David, he's a diehard Jets fan. I was talking to him at that Monday night game against the Cleveland Browns. What a disaster that team is turning out to be. Then just cursed, bad luck, whatever you want to call it. Just awful. But from the quarterback having mono to then losing the backup quarterback, turn up his ankle in that game, and then having to go to the 3rd-string quarterback. It's like, no one ever gets to go to the 3rd-string quarterback unless you're the Jets. It's terrible. Let's see. Oh, somebody did mention, I should say, I need to give some credit to the 49ers. Team Triple GGG Mono. I did not mention the 49ers, and I think they probably need to be up higher on this list. So I'm not dissing on the 49ers. They didn't put them in the rankings up here, but they should be mentioned because they are off to a good start. I honestly have not watched the 49ers play live yet, so I don't really have a good sense of the team. I just see the results and the highlights, and obviously they're doing some good stuff over there. And maybe this is the team that they've been wanting to see since Garoppolo went there. But, this is a good start for them. And right now, the NFC West is one of the best divisions right now with 3 teams undefeated, the Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers. And then you got the Cardinals, who are 0-1-1, I think. Or is it 1? Yeah, 0-1-1. So this could be a very interesting. We've never had it to where 3 teams were playing well. Usually it was like if the Rams were doing well, the Seahawks sucked, and usually all 3 sucked after that. Or else it was the 49ers and the Seahawks were good, and the Rams and the Cardinals sucked. Or it was the Seahawks were doing good, and the Cardinals were doing good, but the 49ers and the Rams sucked. It's usually some 2-team combination. But we got 3 right now, and I like that. I think it's great. I love the fact that these in division games actually mean something, and that they're going to be exciting, hard fought, quality, meaningful games. And we haven't even played one yet. We got the whole division ahead of ourselves to look forward to. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm glad actually the 49ers are doing better, because life is better, when the 49ers are good and the games are actually competitive and exciting and fierce, and gives this guy a chance to get excited about some things. Can't wait to trash talk in some upcoming Rivals videos. But anyway, so the 49ers, we'll see how good they really are, but maybe they might be the surprise team that's coming out and doing some damage that's not really looked at right now. So, but we'll see. But that is, just want to give you my thoughts on the Jalen Ramsey situation. I don't think, to wrap this up, I don't think the Seahawks make the move, but you never know with the Seahawks. They're very clever, very sneaky. And yeah, I hope to be proven wrong about the Patriots. But right now I see it as just Patriots and Kansas City Chiefs. Might as well just write that in, AFC Championship. And we'll see who makes it through. All right, guys. I do have some more videos coming out this week. I'm trying to get all this stuff done. I want to do a recap of last week's picks. I've got the week 3 picks coming up, and then some other cool videos in preparation for the Saints coming in on Sunday. But anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, and we'll be talking soon. All right, enjoy the rest of your week. Happy Hump Day. Go Hawks.